What's up everyone? Welcome back to the channel. I am Brian and I'm here today with yet another Azo pack. This makes the fourth one in my collection and this has quickly become one of my favorite brands. As you can see, I've got three other packs here. One of the things I love about Azo is every single pack is actually very unique. So I have two Amharas, but they're actually very different. One is a P400 dry wax canvas. The other is Challenge Sailcloth Ultra. I also have the Dejen, and that's what brings us to what's in this box. Shout out to Sean for selling me this pack. This is the second pack I've got from Sean. The other is the Stormtrooper Arch Grassetti. And Sean really went to town with the tape here, which I do appreciate. No risk of this pack falling out. My goodness, that was a process. Almost there. So let's get it open and we can see what we are looking at. This pack is a little bit older. This is from 2020, but it is very unique. So what we have is actually a Dejen with an Amhara style lid. And part of the reason I bought this pack is actually because of just how unique it is. Being a bit older, it actually is missing some features that I've gotten around to really appreciating, like a fully adjustable harness and rear laptop access. But this pack was just so unique in terms of the build that I kind of wanted it anyway. And so let's check it out. On the front, we have some interesting touches, unique touches, that none of my other Azo packs actually have. So one of the things I really like is actually this leather embossed patch with their logo, Azo equipment, made in the UK since 2005. And this one looks like it's actually a gray. I can't tell if it's gray or black. I think it's a gray patch. It's just absolutely beautiful. It's such a classy touch to put on a bag. I would have loved to have that on my other Azo packs. So really cool to have that on this. We also have another hit of leather up top here in the back. It does look gray to the eye. Hard to distinguish between gray and black, but it does look gray, a little bit darker than the gray on the pack itself. And it does say Azo equipment made in the UK. Now, it is showing, signs of wear here. When it comes to leather accents like this, I tend to prefer kind of natural colors so that as they age, they don't actually look like they're getting kind of worn in a bad way. But when it comes to packs like this, being unique, this really is a one of one. It is kind of take it or leave it. Back to the front, super awesome touch. We've got a couple of Cobra buckles, but they're actually gray, which is super cool. And we also have a couple of lash tabs on the front that are done in what appears to be a Hypalon. And, I don't know how useful they are. I don't know that I would use them for anything, especially not when I already have kind of the molly webbing loops on the side straps here. But as a design accent, I actually like that quite a bit. It is very unique. So let's check this out. One thing I wasn't necessarily a fan of was the elastic on the side. I kind of prefer just the flat style look. But again, this pack was take it or leave it, and I decided to take it. So jumping into kind of the main compartment here, and this is interesting. I don't know why I thought this. I thought this hood was completely detachable, but it looks like it actually lives on the pack. So it's not like the other Amharas where you can take the lid off. It is in fact one piece, but you can kind of flip it all the way to the back side. And now I think that's fine because the pack kind of looks naked without it, just like that, where this Dejen, because of the Red Dawn camo, actually kind of looks like it has a face of sorts. That's one of my biggest issues with the Dejen, is if it's done like this and it's just a solid color, it kind of looks faceless. So in this case, you kind of get that, but you have the Hypalon lash tabs and you have the hood. And now with both of those, this looks like a true proper pack. Overall, it feels to be very similar in size to the other Dejen. I would guess this is around a 20-liter pack, maybe 24-liter pack. We've got compression straps on the side. This is interesting. I'm gonna have to look at what that is. Let's break them out. Now, as I mentioned on the latest Amhara video, I definitely prefer the compression strap attachment to go behind the zipper, so I don't need to undo the compression straps to get into the pack, but it is also a look. And in this case, with these kind of clips, I think it does look really good. Main compartment has a absolutely huge AquaGuard zipper. Very familiar opening with the ability, oh wow, there's compression straps on the bottom as well. But the ability to get this compartment fully open is something I always appreciate. And it also looks like in this case, we have a couple of counter pulls on the bottom of the bag, which is something that I believe was missing from this one. See, this one's pretty naked. This is actually a huge feature for me. It makes getting this bag open and closed a lot easier having something to pull against. So if I'm building a custom bag, these are the types of things I'm gonna try to remember to add to the feature list. Inside on the back of the front, we've got two nice healthy pockets, a couple of D-rings up top. They're a really quality feeling mesh. One opens horizontal, one opens vertical. I don't know that I actually prefer a vertical opening down low, although this bag has so much access that you could turn this pack sideways, just open it up right here, and potentially gain access to that pocket. I tend to prefer the bottom pocket to have horizontal access so that I can get to it from the top very easy. We've got an extra sort of matching pouch. This pack is made in a 1000D Kadura and 500D Kadura, along with what appears to be a hip belt. Really nice interior liner to this, nice contrasting color. Overall, it's a really beautiful gray, so definitely like the color of the pack. And this pack actually fills a really nice niche in my collection because the Amhara Ultra is really a great travel pack, all around, super durable. I plan to take that kind of for months at a time on international travel. My Red Dawn Dejen is much more appropriate for everyday carry from a size perspective, but it's also so nice that it's really one of those things where I'm only going to take it out and enjoy it in a truly controlled environment, meaning I know where I'm going, I know that it's going to be safe. This is the type of pack that kind of fills the void between international travel for months on end to new exciting areas and knowing where I'm going. If I'm going to go out on sort of an everyday carry excursion but to someplace new that I'm not familiar with, let's say the Oakland Zoo, this pack is kind of the perfect candidate because I'm less concerned with getting this pack beat up or dirty. It's not white, it's not going to take on stains, and so this becomes a very usable pack for that sort of situation. On the back side, we've got what appears to be kind of a tablet sleeve with a suspended floor and a laptop sleeve, both of which are incredibly well padded. Into the back, we have that really nice contrasting liner and what appears to be a piece of kind of polycarbonate as a frame sheet, which is a little bit different than some of the other packs that I've got. We have a couple of clips at the top, and it is fully lined, so the back side of this Kadura actually does have a nylon pack cloth liner, which is always a great touch. Overall, a pretty straightforward main compartment, but there's a couple interesting things going on here. So right here, we've got a loop field with a silencer on it, and basically what appears to be a hydration port just built right into the side of this pack, so you can stick kind of a straw through. I don't love that. I really don't love that. That's not the greatest design. I definitely prefer the zipper approach that my latest Ultra Amhara has, but I'm not too mad at it with the ability to add the silencer, and then when the lid is on, it sticks out just a little bit, but it's not really that noticeable. It's not the end of the world. I definitely would not spec this pack that way if it were up to me. And I'm assuming then that these clips are for hanging a hydration bladder, so that makes sense as to what that's for. I am really curious to know what this pack weighs, so let's actually check that out right now, including the extra pouch. It does feel a little bit heavy in hand, to be honest, for its size, so I am really curious here. 4 pounds, 7.6 ounces. This is a big boy of a pack from a weight perspective. I wasn't expecting that from the photos. I wasn't expecting that from the size. This is actually basically in the ballpark of the Ultra Amhara that's 30 liters, so it's got some heft to it. I don't know if I like that or not. I actually probably don't like that it's quite so heavy. Into the back side, the foam padding though on the back panel is just thick and burly and covers the whole area. The straps are a little bit thinner than some of the other packs, while probably in line with the thickness of the other Dejen, thinner than the Amharas, which makes sense. The backside is the DuraStretch Tweave, which is really nice. Really cool to see that they had that on this pack all the way back in 2020. We also have an interesting pocket here, so it's not a laptop access port, but what is it? It's actually its own kind of custom stash pocket that is disconnected from the main pack. So as a feature, I actually really like this a lot. I'm hoping it's large enough that it can at least fit a passport. That would work really well, but it's not so large that you can fit really large documents like an 8x11 sheet of paper or anything like that. It kind of only goes to about right there, up to there, up to there. So healthy size for a hidden pocket, limited in its use, so to speak. And then the sternum strap has an orange connecting clip with a whistle attached. We've got, from a webbing and strap perspective, one little accent sort of elastic that runs across here. I'm not a big fan of that either. I kind of would have preferred if that was just actual webbing. I'm not a big fan of elastic stuff on expensive packs because elastic is like the first thing to break down. So when you're buying a pack that could last a lifetime, you don't want to see materials that are going to have a very obviously significant shorter life than the rest of the pack. But on the whole, this pack is absolutely stunning. And again, this is going to be one of those videos where I think I'm going to take it out in the real world, try it out, see what I think, and report back to you after it's gotten some real world miles on it. So let's just stop the video here for now. Although, real quick, just realize this, there is a quick access pocket on the lid, and this is a very healthy compartment, and that means I probably forgot about the underside of the lid, where yes, in fact, there is a very healthy mesh pocket. Now, I'm not the biggest fan of this being mesh because it kind of limits, I think, its utility. If you're planning to take this pack out in inclement weather, you gotta kind of be careful about what you might put there. Yes, it's on the underside and it should be protected from the elements, but you know, if this gets sideways or takes in any rain for whatever reason, you're holding it like this or something, you really don't want to put things in here that could get damaged due to water. And so that's probably something I would have done different as well if I had spec'd this pack. The quick access pocket is in fact a Kadura and nylon lined pocket. So very nice on the whole. Again, I'm gonna get this out in the real world and run it through its paces, and then I'll be back with some closing thoughts. What's up everyone? I am back with the closeout portion of this pack, and this is actually an Azo Dejen Expeditionary number 1411, as I identified from the Carryology website. Now, this pack has been really fun to try out. It is not my favorite Azo, and that's really not a knock against it because this is from 2020, it's 4 years old, and the only reason it's not my favorite Azo is that Azo continues to evolve their packs and make them better by tweaking design elements and features. Now, from a usability perspective, I've used this for everyday carry a couple of times, and I will say there are a couple of personal hangups for me from a usability perspective. The first is the way that this Amhara style lid opens with this elastic, and the fact that it doesn't detach makes it a little bit difficult to really truly fold over. Now, I'm splitting hairs with this because it's really not that hard. You know, you kind of do that and pull it and it just kind of goes back. And when you want to get it back over to the front, that's where it's a little tricky because you got to kind of stretch it with the elastic. It's not that big a deal, but when you try this on a new Amhara, it's just so simple. The hood is completely disconnected, so it just flaps right over. Now, being a Amhara and Dejen hybrid, it also is kind of overkill to have the hood, given that this is a fully protected top. It's not a roll top. The zippers on this are super burly. Again, with the compression straps, the zippers will get hung up there unless you open them, and that's why the latest design that has the compression strap sitting behind the zipper I like a lot, because then you're able to keep the compression in the pack and still operate the main panel zipper. From a size perspective, this stores everything that I've come to expect out of a Dejen. I've got my Peak Design tech case, an Evergoods Cap 2, and my trusty camera cube. I really like the kind of red, orange, really bright interior on this quite a bit. Into the back of the pack, again, this does not have the fully adjustable harness. Now, I didn't find that to be a huge problem with this. For me personally, this sat on my back in an area that I was comfortable with it. The one thing I didn't catch in the initial kind of look at this pack that was a little bit of a hang-up is actually a design element here at the bottom. You can see, rather than just a strap coming off of this, they got a little bit cute with it, with this piece of hardware. And depending on how you adjust it, this piece of hardware can actually dig into your back a little bit on the sides. So in the end, I ultimately got this to the point that it was quite comfortable and that wasn't a problem. But the first couple times I wore this, I had to continue to adjust it until this no longer kind of pinched my back. The quick access pocket on the side is really useful. It does fit my wallet, and it can absolutely fit a passport, so that makes it nice if you're getting on an airplane and you want to keep documents safe. Overall, even though it's old, it is absolutely a beautiful pack. It appears to be in outstanding condition despite having appeared to be used a little bit. Again, the greatest sign of wear and tear is in this grab handle at the back. And my favorite feature of this pack, and the reason that I actually took the time to do this review, as you will see in my next ASO video, is I think this design element, this patch right here on the front, really is just the absolute cherry on top of this pack. This is my favorite design element to have at this area versus just being plain or a patch panel. To have a really nice leather ASO embossed patch just really sets this pack off and really just draws attention to the amount of quality and craftsmanship that has gone into this. So this is my favorite thing to have here, and you'll see from the next pack that I've got to unbox that it has this feature as well. That's all I've got for this one. Thank you for watching. I appreciate you, and I will see you at the next one soon.